Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I have 3 full siblings and a half-sibling. I'm the youngest, 20, a middle brother, 21, and an older brother, 25. When my mom was 5 months pregnant with me, she found out that my father was having an affair with a married coworker who was 8 months pregnant. It was revealed that the married coworker's baby was my father's. She divorced my dad. My dad was a deadbeat. Mom was awesome growing up. Brother decided to have a 19th birthday party at my mom's house. Mom and I came home, and a girl was there. I realized that it was my half-sister. I was shocked. I had never really had any contact with this girl because we lived in different cities. And to be honest, I never had the desire to have a relationship with a stranger just because we had the same sperm donor. Eldest brother agrees with me. She tried to give me a hug, but I pushed her off me and told her not to touch me. My mom, on the other hand, lost her crap. She asked what the duck she was doing here and how dare he bring her into the house. My brother said that he just wanted to introduce her to us and they had been in contact for the past 6 months, and he looked my way for help. I looked away. He took her home and we sat down for a family meeting. My mother essentially told James that him having contact with our half-sister felt like a stab in the back, and that the sight of that girl brought out all the ugly feelings that she had pushed down years earlier. After noticing that nobody but himself wanted contact with her, he told us he wasn't going to have contact with her. I thought that was that, and life continued as normal. My grandmother passed away and left everything to my mother, who was her only living child. Mom drafted a will where she split that inheritance between us 3 equally. 3 months ago, mother and older brother ran into my brother at Starbucks with my half-sister. Turns out that middle brother had been letting her stay in the apartment that my mother pays for, and she had been there for the past 4 months. My mom said nothing at the time, but a couple days later she emailed us a copy of the new drafted will. She had split the inheritance between my eldest brother and I in half, and had left middle brother $25 and my grandfather's beater car. He lost his crap, came to the house and asked me how mom could do this to him. I instantly rebutted with well, what the duck did you expect? And he called me a raging bee, and I told him he was an ungrateful a-hole. Mom pays for your tuition and your bills, and you decide to house the one person that she told you she has issues with? My mother hasn't stopped paying his tuition or kicked him out of the apartment, so it's not like she left him destitute. Not the a-hole. She's entitled to give her money to whomever she pleases, point blank. I don't think people realize how much pain the mother may be in. Sure, it technically isn't the half-sister's fault, but that doesn't mean the mother has to accept her. What I want to know is why half-sister is living with the brother. Sure, the dad may be a deadbeat, but what about the other woman? Wow, that girl just wanted to know part of her family, and y'all threw her out like the trash. She isn't responsible for her, your father's actions, and she shouldn't be punished for that. She didn't choose to come into the world this way. I think you're the a-hole for not trying to understand why your brother sought a relationship with your half-sister. Same for your mom. Y'all could really do with finding some compassion. Not the a-hole. Blood doesn't mean family. If middle bro wants to be in contact with her, that's his business. But he also needs to understand his mother's feelings about the half-sibling. He deliberately lied to you all about cutting contact and housed her in a place that your mother pays for and hid it from her. Play stupid games, you get stupid results. Added info. Him being disinherited wasn't even on the table at the time during the first conversation. My mom told him to keep her out of her house and out of her life. He said, "Okay, Mom, I'll just stop talking to her because I can see how much it distresses you." Nobody forced him. Nobody brought it up. He did so himself. My mom wrote him out because she found out he was housing her on her dime. And during the time that she was there, he was asking for extra money, and my mom would just send it. When she found out, she secluded herself for a couple of days and then sent the email. He lied to her face and used her money to house and feed her. I don't think she would have cared if he was just using his own money. But my mom works her butt off to provide for us, and he turned around and used it on someone whom my mom can't stand. Update. I asked my mom why she was so upset to the point of cutting him out, and she said, "I have 2 sons and 1 daughter, not 2 sons and 2 daughters, and he made me financially support her while hiding her." Yeah, I don't think my stance on this is going to change. Final update. This all happened 4 months ago. When my mom and eldest brother saw them at Starbucks, Mom immediately walked out and went to her car. Eldest brother asked him about her, and middle brother has never been the one to do well under pressure, and blew up and told him she's been staying at his house. They came home, mom went upstairs and virtually disappeared for a week. Eldest brother gave me the breakdown. Since the whole will ordeal, middle brother asked her to move back into her parents' house. No, her mother and stepdad weren't aggressive. They just don't let her get crap-faced in their house. And I know this because for the last 4 months, middle brother has been trying to rebuild the relationship he previously had with all of us. He lied to everyone about her and would act sus as hell now that I think about it. Always saying he was hungover, and that's why I couldn't go visit him in his apartment. At this point, I don't care if he talks to her or not. I truly don't. And all I've ever said in this thread is that eldest brother and I won't. But if one day eldest brother decides he wants another sister, that's his business. As long as he doesn't try to bring her to my wedding or Thanksgiving at mom's, I don't give a damn. Regardless, I think middle brother is more interested in regaining his part of inheritance than in talking to her. So everyone painting him as a saint needs to realize this. He threw her out the moment he saw she was messing with his financials. And I know this because I received an irate message from her on Instagram 3 days ago, asking me why I hate her so much to the point that James decided to drop her in favor of us. I told her no one asked him to drop her. He did so because he wanted his part of inheritance back. And I didn't hate her, I just didn't want anything to do with her. I'm a 57-year-old guy that got into a second marriage 5 years after my late wife died. Let's call my now wife Mary. Mary has a daughter from a past relationship. She's now 19, so let's call her Mary 2. I also have a daughter that is 19 from my late wife. Mary 2 is lazy. Before anyone says anything, we tried to talk to her. We took her to the doctor, but she didn't have anything diagnosed. We tried therapy for 3 months, but nothing came out of it, so we stopped. She does nothing around the house, she doesn't have a job, and dropped out of school recently. I tried to talk to my friend to see if he could get her a job at the local center, and instead of showing up at the place on time, I found Mary 2 talking to some friends outside our house in our backyard. But my biological daughter is the opposite. She does excellent in school. She is working at a local supermarket to save up for her future. I'm really proud of her. But the main thing happened yesterday. At night, Mary 2 asked for my car to go to a party with her friends. I said no because she doesn't know how to drive yet. She asked Mary for her car. Same answer, no. We saved up to buy a new car for my daughter as a gift for turning 18 because she already knew how to drive. She was really happy and uses it to go everywhere she needs. When me and Mary were going to sleep, my daughter was going to go to a friend's house. She got to the garage and her car wasn't there. Mary 2 took the car to go to the party without permission. She basically stole it. At 2 a.m., we hear Mary 2 coming back. And guess what? There was the largest scratch on the car doors, front to back. My daughter started crying and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I only said, "You have 1 week to pack your things and get out." She started screaming about how could I do this to her and that it's not her fault how we couldn't afford to treat her right. She went to her room and locked the door. Mary started saying how I couldn't do that to her daughter, how Mary 2 and my daughter are both the same age, so they should both be out. I said it's my house and that's the final decision. My daughter is still really sad about the car, but is glad Mary 2 is leaving. Mary and Mary 2 are calling me every name possible, but I am not changing my mind. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. So I might get hate for my opinion, but I don't care. First thing first, you told her no. Your own daughter told her no. No means no. Second, she stole the car. I would have called the cops, especially since she doesn't know how to drive. Third, Mary 2 should leave if they can't understand that you don't tolerate certain things and that Mary 2 crossed way too many boundaries in my eyes. I'd have called the cops the second I realized she'd stolen the vehicle. She should have to pay for the repairs as well. She just broke your trust, big time. The fact that she started claiming the damage wasn't her fault because you didn't treat her right tells you she's not remorseful for what she did, just that she got caught, and that she's trying to emotionally manipulate you to get out of suffering the consequences of her actions. She's 19 and she stole a car. It could have been so much worse. I wouldn't trust her in my house anymore either. Sounds like her mom is a problem too. She enables her daughter's bad behavior, not the a-hole. Mary 2 just committed auto theft, driving without a license, reckless endangerment, damage to the property, etc., etc. Could be a pile of misdemeanors and felonies. She sounds like trouble and doesn't face any consequences from her mother. She's an adult now and should face the music. It'll probably end in your divorce though. Honestly, I'd rather have peace than a marriage with that kind of baggage, not the a-hole. I married my wife Leah 3 years ago after being in a relationship for 3 years before that. I have a son, Callum, 12 male. My late wife was Grace. She died when Callum was 14 months old. I've always made a point of keeping her memory alive. We used to read some of the letters Grace left for him at bedtime. I also played the videos she made for him for daily life, looking back on. I also tell him stories about her and about us, as a couple, and a family with him. He has an attachment to her memory and to her through everything she left for him. When I met Leia, he and I talked as I was getting ready to introduce her, and he asked if she had to be his new mom. I said no, that it was up to him, and their relationship could be anything he was comfortable with. He said he couldn't imagine having someone else be his mom. We talked about it more times as the relationship progressed, and I was open with Leia, that she was marrying me, but she was not becoming a mom. She said she was okay with that, but she did want more kids. I agreed to that. We did not expect her to be infertile and unable to have a child biologically. Ever since, she has been less okay with not being Callum's mom. She has told me it should be back on the table, despite me telling her Callum's feelings have not changed. So she decided to bring it up in front of her family, saying that she was being his mom but not getting the love or title, that I was making her feel less loved than Grace. Her family started ganging up on me, saying they had been hearing about it for 3 years now, and how Callum deserves a mom and to be healthy enough to embrace a new mom, and that Leia deserves to be a mom and to be credited for raising Callum. They said she was doing most of the parenting, which I strongly disagreed with. I am not some guy who married to pawn his kid off on someone. I actively parent my son and do more than Leah, both because I don't agree with dumping all the parenting on my spouse. It was the same when Grace was alive. Because I want to be there for my son, and because Callum comes to me more than Leah. She argued that she would be doing more, as the mother of the household, that I am being a terrible husband. I asked her what she wanted me to do, to tell Callum that his feelings and clearly established boundaries don't matter and he needs to cater to hers. I've been her shoulder to lean on throughout her finding out she's infertile, throughout any step-parenting struggles she's had, but she really pissed me off by handling the conversation the way she did. And I told her she knew what the deal was when she married me, and I had been clear with her what her role would be, and that we were not looking for Callum to have a new mom. Leah was upset. I don't think she was that devastated when she found out she couldn't have biological children, and her family were pissed at me. I do feel bad for snapping like I did, but I'm also mad at her for putting me in the position she did. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You're right. She knew what the deal was when you married. It's unfortunate that she's infertile, but that doesn't mean she entirely gets to disregard Callum's feelings. That's no way to treat someone who she wants to mother. You're doing great. Not the a-hole. She doesn't get to force something Callum has been clear he doesn't want and isn't comfortable with, just because her own circumstances changed. The fact she thinks what she wants more than what Callum feels is proof all by itself that she is not fit to be his mother. Worthy mothers do what is best for the child, not what they want. She's doubly an a-hole for bringing it up in front of her family. She fully intended for them to gang up against you, to try to manipulate you into giving her what she wants. Honestly, you need to rethink staying married to her, because if she is being this pushy with you, you can ducking bet that she is being even more pushy, though maybe more subtly, with your son, and that is not a healthy person to have him around. Not the a-hole. Callum made his decision and she needs to respect that. If she tries to force a relationship that is different than what he wants it to be, he will only push her further away. I, 32 female, am a mother of 2 kids, 5 female and 2 male. I do not get along with my family. Actually, I've been no contact with my parents for more than 10 years. My husband, 35 male, grew up in the system his whole life. So when we got serious, we dreamed of having the picture-perfect family life that we didn't have while growing up. I've been doing everything I can to make Christmas magical for my small family. Every room is decorated, including bathrooms, elaborate lights and decorations on the outside. I stuff advent calendars, make cookies almost every day, matching pajamas, postcards for our friends, etc. Also, we go all out on gifts for our kids. I reconnected with my sister last year. We talk online and have had one face-to-face meeting. She visited my city. She is also married with 3 kids, all under 12. Her husband is unemployed. She works retail and they have a ton of medical debt. I guess she has been going through my social media lately, and she has seen how we celebrate Christmas in our house. Then she contacted me. After a couple of minutes, she said that they were planning to spend Christmas with us as a gift. I said that I appreciated her gesture, but that Christmas for us is just our small family. We do not like to include the extended family. She kept insisting that it would be fun and that my kids would absolutely love to celebrate with their cousins. My kids have never even met their cousins. I kept insisting that it would not be possible for us. Then she switched tones and started telling me that they couldn't afford Christmas for their kids, that they just wanted the kids to have a fun holiday for once. I sympathized with her, but told her again that it would not be possible for them to spend Christmas with us. Then she asked me for some money to help with Christmas expenses. I told her that we do not have any extra funds this month, but that I have $100 budgeted for gifts for her family that I could send her. She asked for more, but I turned her down. That was when she got angry at me. She said that I was a selfish bee, that it wasn't fair that her kids would not get to celebrate Christmas while I am throwing money out the window on my vanity project of a house. I hung up on her, then sent her a text. This is the exact text. I'm sorry that you and your family are struggling, but I will not be sacrificing our family traditions for your ease. I will be sending you $100 as a gift for the kids, but neither you nor your family are welcome to our family Christmas. I will expect an apology when you cool down. Otherwise, don't bother contacting me again. I still stand behind my decision to not have them celebrate with us, but I'm feeling guilty for how I worded it. So, am I the a-hole for using the phrase, you nor your family are welcome to our family Christmas? Not the a-hole. You don't have to invite her, and it's pretty entitled how she tried to invite herself. You set your boundaries and put your family time first. That's completely fine. Your sister needs to mind her own business. Not the a-hole. Not only is it rude to invite you and your family over, it's worse to insist on it after being refused. No is no. This is how you get no contact like you just did. And the $100 is very generous. I wonder why her husband is unemployed. That is likely part of the reason why they are not having a good Christmas. And many of your vanity projects for Christmas can be done fairly inexpensively, yet look pricey, especially if you do it yourself and get goods at sales and thrift stores. She doesn't know how much you spent, etc. I hope she doesn't know where you live. They may show up as a surprise Christmas gift. Be ready if so. Not the a-hole. Her entitlement in inviting herself and her family to your home for any reason is just astounding. And her audacity in going off on you for refusing her last-minute self-invitation is equally astounding. She's lucky you're still sending her the $100.